Welcome everyone to Tuesday, October 31st, developers call for Project Jupyter IPython. We're following an agenda which is linked into the chat in Dropbox paper. Feel free to follow along. It starts off with links to where you can find more news by organizations for the project. And we will kick off with updates on Jupyter Notebook from Grant.
All right, so yesterday we released Notebook 5.2.1, release candidate 1, and there's just a couple of bug fixes in this version. So if everybody can use it for the next couple of days, if there's no issues, we will plan on releasing 5.2.1 on Thursday. I will paste the changelog for that here in the doc, or at least link to it so you can check out what's in it. And then other than that, I'm just going to continue triaging issues in the notebook repo. And that's about all for Notebook.
All right, great. Thanks, Grant. Now an update on Jupyter Lab.
Okay. Last week we added a standalone cell example, which is something Min has been asking for a while. So now we have that where it creates a cell that has a toolbar that shows the current kernel, the status indicator. You have a restart and an interrupt button. You can change kernels, has completion and tooltips. And the example itself is only about 100 lines of code because it's using other components from other modules. So a nice example we now have for that. We have switched over to React for our virtual DOM implementation, and Grant has an open PR to add at least the virtual DOM renderer and the JSON table renderer. Remains to be seen whether we want to include the GeoJSON renderer in core Jupyter Lab or not. So there's open discussion there if anyone wants to weigh in. Jason added the ability to right-click on a cell and open a new view to that cell. So it'll open a new widget, a new panel that is linked to the original cell. Things like dragging a slider on a Jupyter widget will link between the two. Darian's been working on the setting editor, the ability to have comments in line with your JSON that aren't blown away when you set them programmatically. Unlike in Sublime, actually, if you programmatically change a setting, it'll blow away any comments you had in your settings buffer. So we're trying not to do that, and we won't. So that's coming soon. There is an open PR to add a Vega 3 renderer. We have the Vega 2 renderer in core Jupyter Lab right now. There's some. It looks like we can't simultaneously have Vega 2 and Vega 3 because of some NPM deduping problems. That is prompting us actually to switch over to Yarn because Yarn is properly deduping those two trees of Vega 2 and Vega 3. So that's a work in progress. Nick Bullig started a PR to switch us over to use Yarn. So that should be coming soon. And lastly, updated the Matplotlib widget to use both IPyWidgets 7 and compatible with Jupyter Lab 28. So that is now finally up to date. And that's it for Jupyter Lab.
Alrighty, sounds good. Looks like we have a few people not on the call for widgets, NB convert or services. Is there anyone who has updates on any of those things before we move on to Jupyter Hub? No. Okay, doesn't sound like it. So who was putting in those updates for Jupyter Hub? I know Carol's. Oh, Min. Sorry, I didn't see you on the call, Min. Hey.
Yeah, so we're just getting ready for a next round of small releases on Jupyter Hub and a big release on the Helm chart for the 0 to Jupyter Hub Kubernetes stuff. So we've been doing a lot of work on master deploying with 0.8 and then we've got just a little patch release for Hub 0.8.1, and then we can do a big release of the Helm chart with all that good stuff.
Okay. So we have our list of conferences and workshops. If you have anywhere that you're going to be speaking coming up or participating in, please add that to the list. It looks like the next event is in San Francisco at the end of this week, the Open Data Science Conference West, November 2nd through the 4th. There was a note, I think, Grant, you said you were speaking at PyData in Venice Beach. Is there a website or a registration page? I Googled it to see if I could find one. I didn't see one, so I don't know if maybe they just don't have one.
Have one yet.
Okay, got it. All right. If at some point they create one, feel free to link it up there. And then also, if you hear about open calls for proposals or papers for future events, Carol started a list. So feel free to continue adding to that. So before we move on to the next sections to kind of wrap everything up, is there anything that we haven't covered that wasn't on the agenda that anyone on the call would like to share out, either with the community or other people on the call?
Yeah, I have one thing. I've been asked to write a quick article on Jupyter for SciAm News, so math, applied math website. So if anybody else would like to help out on that, that would be fine. I'll be doing that this week.
Okay. What does your timeline look like for that?
Officially by the end of October.
Okay.
But I'm going to try to get it done by the end of this week.
Okay, great.
Yeah, I would be able to help.
That would be excellent. I'll make a paper or something and share it with folks.
Yes, okay.
I would be happy to review as well.
Alrighty. So last week we started the discussion on possible change to the format of our weekly meetings, and Matthias, you took the lead on kind of gathering thoughts and ideas on that. Do you want to update and talk about next steps?
Yeah, I'm asking feedback to people one by one, and right now I want to get feedback from Fernando/Brian.
Okay.
I got some personal feedback from here. There is a Dropbox paper. I just don't want to send a draft to everyone, not to to have people reading something which is not more polished. But it's moving forward, and the goal would be to I mean, roughly like hand waving would be to get something written 24 hours in advance and send it to the mailing list to start having feedback in the written form from our users and from everyone, especially as many people cannot always attend the meeting, and try to increase actual bandwidth, because not everybody is interested in all topics, and basically already trim down what we will talk about during the actual meetings. Anyway, if I don't get feedback from Fernando, Brian, and other people that I think to in the next couple of days, I will share more widely.
Okay, sounds good.
Next week, we also cannot use BlueJeans anymore, if I remember correctly.
Yes, I was just about to say that. I've been researching Zoom, and it does not, from my calls to the support desk and the talks with the IT people here, it does not look like it will allow us to do what we need to do. I have a follow-up today with another person, kind of escalation, but so far it does not have the same features that we will not be able to do with Zoom what we've been doing with BlueJeans. So at least not from the Cal Poly administered accounts. The university administered account has some limitations in sharing with non-Cal Poly people. So I will follow up with an email. We may need to purchase our own kind of separate license of BlueJeans or come up with some alternative workarounds. But I will definitely follow up once I confirm that that is going to be our only option. And I hope to do that today.
Next week, I think a couple of people are at the MSDSC Summit or not if they can't come. Do we still have a meeting?
As of right now, yes. I mean, we can discuss whether we take a week off. That will buy us a little bit of time. But how many people out of the group will be there?
At least all of Berkeley.
Oh, okay. Well, we may consider canceling then. Yeah, let's definitely. I'll follow up on that today, and then we'll make a decision.
And we can also try Google Hangouts. We used to do Google Hangouts before BlueJeans. It was not the best, but it automatically sent to YouTube, so we can try to set up something.
Okay, all right, sounds good. And then we switched to BlueJeans just because we had access. Is that, or what was the issue with that?
Google Hangouts used to not be that great when we had that many people. Like above 6 or 7, it was started to be flaky.
There's a maximum of 10, I think.
Oh,
it might be more now, and we can try to go through the UC Berkeley Hangout thing that has more higher limits, and also you can't call in with a phone. With I think that via Berkeley you can do that if you ask for a specific extension to your account.
Okay. All right. Sounds good. So yes, we may have a different meeting space next week, or we may cancel next week. I will send an update on the Gitter channel. So also just to repeat the request from Jessica, she would like everyone to mark issues that are new contributor friendly, because she is organizing a sprint at Columbia University in a couple weeks. So feel free to do that. Jessica, anything else you want to say on that?
Just that I think this will be a good opportunity to get some new contributors. In the past, we found that university undergraduates are people who are very interested and passionate and have the time to put into getting a PR done. So I'm hoping that we'll be able to get some interesting ideas. I wouldn't be surprised if you see additional traffic on the Gitter channel, since I will be probably directing people to ask questions either there or on the GitHub issues. So just be aware of that. That will be happening. I guess that's the afternoon. That would be, I guess, morning West Coast time, afternoon East Coast time on November 11th.
I just added the date on there. Okay, so our last section is just a recap of any releases that have happened last week, this week, or any that you're planning soon, which I suppose means next week or the next 2 weeks. So if you have any releases that you talked about in the previous sections, please repeat them there so we can keep track of them easily. And then is there anything else that you'd like to cover before we go? Looks like we had a short meeting. So is there anything else that you guys want to talk about before we move on? Okay. All right. It was great to see everyone. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and we'll chat soon.